Yeah, Minna, Carl from Purple Misplays. I've got another game straight out of Japan for you. Today I'm going to be taking a look at頼りない魔法使い, or Unreliable Wizard, another game from designer Kamibayashi and publisher Titanheads. This is a sort of JRPG style game in which you find yourself in a kingdom that's been taken over by a demon lord and kidnapped the princess of the kingdom. The king sent out a series of heroes to try and rescue the princess, and unfortunately those heroes were also captured. So the king reached out to the sort of old great mage that he knows and asked for his help to save the princess, but unfortunately he was indisposed at the moment. And you, his son, who is sort of an apprentice training wizard who doesn't really quite know what he's doing, instead sets out on the adventure to sort of free the heroes and ultimately defeat the demon lord, saving the princess and the kingdom. No disclaimer needed on this one. I was very excited to pick this one up myself, so I did grab my own copy for this one. With that said, let's head down to the table to see how this one plays, and then I'll meet you back up here to let you know what I think. To set up a game of頼りない魔法使い, or Unreliable Wizard, begin by first assembling and placing out the map, using these 3 cards and lining them up like this. Placing the card for the final boss Terra above the map like this. Next, you'll take the 4 sort of lower level bad guy cards, give them a shuffle, and place out 3 at this location here, this location here, and over here on the other side here, removing the 4th card from the game. Next, do the same thing with the higher level cards, placing them in the remaining slots, like this, with the final card also being removed from the game, just like was done with the low-level bad guys. Next, you take all of the ability cards, separating out the 3 starting abilities, meaning top blue, top red, and top green, and then giving the rest of those cards a shuffle, setting aside 2 of them to add to your hand, and then placing the rest of them 1 card each on each of the bad guy cards. You'll then set up 2 areas, one to keep track of your health in the game, doing that by placing out this life point tracker, and I'll just place that up here in the top corner of the screen, like this. And then next to it, we're going to put out our tracker, which is going to be what we use when we go into battle. And to do that, we're first going to place out this sort of area details card. This is going to show all of the different types of area on the map and the damage that they cause as we walk through them. Just going quickly from left to right, we've got forest, town, plains, desert, sort of a volcanic area, city, ocean or seas, a labyrinth area, and then finally the castle of the demon lord himself. These markings underneath also show us the kinds of things that are going to be attacking us, or the sort of attack value of that type of location. You'll see what that means when we get into our first battle, but I'm just going to head and place that up here. Below that, as I mentioned, the attack level of each of those locations. This is a double-sided card and is now upside down. This is a double-sided card for each of those different land types, and you'll see we'll use this when we get into battle, so I'm going to leave that right here. And then we've got this skill card that gives us a sort of turn explanation on there, again, all in Japanese, but I'll walk you through everything as we get into it. But this is also going to be the way that we track our stuff in battle. And then finally, we're going to lay out this grimoire card, which is going to explain all of these sort of spells that we, level 1, level 2, and level 3 spells that we can potentially cast at the beginning of the game. There is one more grimoire that we can discover through our adventures that will give us some higher level spells as well. But this is also our life point tracker. And we're going to go ahead and set that at 30 life points like that. Then finally, to our starting 3 ability cards, we're going to flip over the last 2 that we removed at the start of setup. And if they are also ability or like magic part cards like these 2 are, they'll get placed into our hand. If they had been companions, which hopefully you'll see come out as we get into gameplay, you'll select which of the 2 skills you're going to give that companion and slot it behind your skill card. Or if it happens to be the Grimoire 2 card, then you'll add that to your available magic as well. So with that, we're all set up for the game. So let's talk about how the game is going to play out. And I realize that's also upside down. Okay, then we are going to start. And I said we're done setup, but that's not quite true. We've got our little wizard pawn here that we're going to start down here at the starting spot. And頼りない魔法使いis going to play out over a series of turns as I work my way through the world, defeating the bad guys, unlocking new abilities from defeating those bad guys, ultimately getting to the castle of the Demon Lord and taking on and hopefully defeating the Demon Lord Terra themselves. And I also just realized that in setup I did things backwards. All of the ability cards should be at the bottom of the stack with the enemy cards on top, and I'm going to go ahead and reset that right now, and then we'll get into gameplay. All right, so here we are with everything all fixed up. Again, we are going to be fighting our way through the lands, defeating enemies, receiving new abilities from defeating those enemies, hopefully sort of leveling ourselves up as we get to the end to take on the Demon Lord Terra. And to do that, we're going to be moving first through the world. And each of the spaces that we're moving through is going to have a different small number printed on them. For example, this town area here has a -1, which means if I step on that space, I will lose 1 life point. So I'm losing life points moving through the area, except for if I step on these yellow hexes. Landing on a yellow hex will give me life back by the number printed on that space. So if I land here, I'd get +6 life added back to my total life points. And anytime we land on one of these hexes that has a line pointing to an encounter, we will take on that enemy, and then we will get into a battle. And again, if we win that battle, we will get the ability card underneath that enemy. And the only way we're going to lose that battle is if we lose all our life points, in which case we lose the game. Although that's not completely true, and I'll show this to you again later when we get a companion, but if I have a companion when my life points hit 0, I can sacrifice my companion to get 8 life points back again, or to reset back to 8 life points. So let's go ahead and work our way towards our first battle. Both of them have 1 forest space in between, so it doesn't really matter which way we go. But looking at my cards, and I'll explain how these work in a minute, I've got a full set of blue and a full set of red magic. So that means right now I'm stronger in red and blue than I am in green. And we can see that the forest creatures have 1 strength in blue, and the town have 1 strength in red, which means either one of them is fine for me because those are the 2 that I'm strong in anyway. So let's go ahead and go 1 here, losing 2 life points, and then we'll go fight this first encounter so I can show you how the meat of the game works. So here's our first encounter. We're going to be fighting the evil monster, Dero. And Dero, you can see, has a few things printed on here. First off, he's got 3 life points to start. We have to take care of all of those to kill the monster. When we do defeat them, we will recover 1 life point based on that point in the corner. This AP as attack points means at the end of every turn, if we haven't killed them yet, they will do 3 damage to us. And then finally here you can see their sort of attack strength or defense strength, like more realistically defense strength, because what this means is they will block 1 red, 1 green, and 1 blue point of damage basically. And the way we're going to do this is this. We're going to set up the cards such that we find the land that we're in. We're right now fighting in the forest, and then we're going to overlay the enemy over that, and then we're going to use this card here to show the enemy's life points. So we can see right now they've got 1 defense in red, 1 defense in green, and 2 defense in blue. And we're going to attack them using our magic powers, and I'll show how that works in just a second. But we can use the different spells listed here. So if I draw just the top red, I will get 2 points of damage. Top green is 2 green damage. Top blue is 2 blue damage. If I can draw the top red and bottom red, I do 4 red damage. Same with 4 green damage, 4 blue damage. And if I could sandwich the gray magic piece in between, which I don't have yet, so I can't cast any level 3 magic, but if I could, I'd do 6 points of red damage, 6 points of green damage, or 6 points of blue damage. So once we've figured out how much damage we're doing, I then have to subtract whatever color defense we are attacking against. So if I did 6 points of blue damage, for example, my 6 minus 2 means I do 4 damage to Dero. But there's some risk here. The name of this game is頼りない魔法使い, means Unreliable Wizard. I'm not casting the spells always that I think I'm going to cast. And the way this works is, at the start of every turn in battle, I'm going to select how many cards I would like to draw to hopefully cast against the bad guy. So for example, if I'm hoping to draw 2 red or 2 blue against him, then I'm going to draw 2 cards, or I'm going to hope to draw 2 cards. And then based on the number of cards that I've drawn, I'm then going to have to add at least 1 card to that hand of cards that I'm going to be drawing from. So that means if I want to draw 2 cards, I have to draw from at least 3 cards. And I say at least 1 because I can never have less than 3 cards in my draw deck. So if I only want to draw 1 card, I still have to draw from 3 cards. And why would I ever do that? Well, because the number of cards that I draw, so for example, if I chose 2 cards to draw, is also the amount of damage I'm doing to myself when I cast that magic. So if I choose to draw 2 cards, I will have to lower my life points by 2 in order to cast that spell on that turn. So that means that the more cards we're drawing, the more damage we're doing to ourselves, but the higher chances we have of casting something more powerful to take out the enemy. And again, remember, if the enemy doesn't die at the end of their turn, they will attack back with whatever life or attack points they have at that time. So for example, let's say in this case, I would like to draw 2 cards. And I'm hoping to draw double red because that would be 4 against 1 would be 3 damage and he would die instantly. So I'm going to take my 2 red cards. And then to those red cards, I have to add at least 1 more card that could potentially come out. Now if I add a blue card and I draw a top blue, that's going to be 2, block 2, that's 0 damage. I don't like that. If I add in my green card, that's 2, block 1, I'd still hit for 1 if I pull that. So we're going to draw from those 3 cards. So I'm going to be shuffling those 3 cards up. And then from those 3 cards, I'm going to be drawing 2 cards. And I don't know if I've shuffled enough, but we'll see. And then the sort of efficacy of my attack is going to be based on those cards. So I'm going to draw first top green and top red. So I do 2 damage from green and 2 damage from red. So 2 green and 2 red. So red is 2 minus 1 is 1. Green is 2 minus 1 is 1. So I hit for 2 damage, 1, 2. And unfortunately, because they're still alive, they're going to do 3 damage back to me. But before I do that, I forgot already. By drawing 2 cards, I should have dropped 2 damage. And now they're hitting me for 3. 1, 2, 3, like that. And now I need to attack back. And now this is a case where if I draw red, I hit for 1 point, they die. If I draw green, they hit for 1 point, they die. So really, I only want to draw 1 card. The problem is, if I draw a bottom red, that does nothing on its own. And if I draw a top blue, that's going to be blocked because he's got 2 defense and I'd be hitting for 2. So whatever I add right now is going to potentially make me fail. But if I only draw 1 card, I only take 1 damage. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to add to my red and green. It doesn't matter because all 3 of those are useless right now. That one. And I'm going to shuffle those up. And I'm going to draw 1 card. And we're going to hope that I chose wisely. And we've got green. Good. So we did 2 damage. Minus 1 is 1. Dero dies. And for that, sorry, I should have taken 1 damage for that. But now we recover 1 from him, and he's dead. So now I'm going to take this ability card and add it to my hand. And we've just discovered our first companion. We also add Dero back to the map, just like this, to show that he's been defeated. And my first companion is the princess. So the princess gives me 2 options. If I add the princess on this side, I'm going to always have 1 red, 1 green, and 1 blue attack added to whatever magic I'm casting. And she has an ability in this case that says, every time I'm fighting Terra at the end of the game, for every round I fight Terra, I automatically do 2 damage. And that will happen after my attack turn. The other side, she gets no boosts to my attack. But this says that when I lose health for my casting level, I'm going to lose 2 less health. Which means if I drew 2 cards, I wouldn't take any damage. But again, she doesn't add anything. But that's real powerful, to continuously not be losing health. So I'm going to slot her in behind here like that. Unfortunately, as I said, she doesn't add anything to me in that form, but that's okay. We'll keep it like that. So then we press on, and on we go. We're going to be going, where's next? I can go up here through the grasslands to this guy, losing 2 damage along the way. Then I miss out on whatever's over here, and I'm not doing horribly bad. Yeah, let's do this. Going through the town this way just loses 1 life point, and we're going to have our next encounter, which is against the monster, La. All right, La also has 3 hit points or 3 life points. He only attacks back for 2. We do recover 1. They've got lots of red and a little bit of blue. And this time we're fighting in the town. So we're going to line up like this, and we'll fight in the town against La. All right, then, taking a look again, they're strong against red. Even if I pull a level 2 red, that's 4 minus 4, I can't hit. So I'm going to be looking at blue. A double blue would be 4 minus 1 is 3, I'd hit forever. A big green is a 2, minus nothing would be a 2. So I'm going to draw 2 cards, and I'm going to take my 2 blues and my green. And again, we are drawing 2. And because now I have the princess, I don't get any damage for a 2, because she's going to cut out 2 damage on anything that I do. So we're going to draw a top green and a bottom blue. That combo does nothing, but the top green does 2 damage. Minus nothing is 2. But unfortunately, they're not dead yet, so we do take 2 damage. And now I'm fighting again, and I will use the same combination, except I'm only drawing, no, it doesn't matter, right? Because I don't get hurt. I'm drawing 2 again. Bottom blue, top green, doesn't matter, top green works. I hit 2, minus nothing. La is dead. And I recover 1 point. Back up to there. And we get our next ability card, which in this case, ooh, another companion. We've got the Paladin. So the Paladin can get me a green and 2 blue, or 2 red and a blue. And their abilities are, when I'm walking through the labyrinth area, each movement is 1 less damage than is printed, so it should be 3, but it would only be 2 if I have that. Or, this one says if I ever fight an enemy that has this symbol on the card, they start with 2 less hit points or life points. I'm not going to be spending a whole lot of time walking through that labyrinth area, so I'm going to take that one. That's going to give me an auto 2 damage against anybody that's of that enemy type. So place that out like that, clear this up, and we are off. To see the wizard, I'm going to go 1 minus here, 2 minus there, 1, 2, and then we're going to end up here plus 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I didn't mention this before, but we can only ever use those spaces once. But I do want to fight this guy, so I'm going to go back. Minus 2, minus 1, and back there. So I lose 3 hit points. And we start our next battle. Against Dodo. Wow, Dodo's got 6 hit points. But you'll see here they've got different attack. Once they get down to their final 2 life points, they are only attacking for 1 point rather than 3. And they are of this type, which is not the type we're strong against. We're also recovering 2 when we fight, or when we beat them. We're fighting them in the grassland. So we've got to slide this under until it's at grass. And then laying this on top like that. And his life points are up here like that. All right, so let's think about how we're going to fight Dodo. Dodo's got 1 red, 1 blue, 3 green. Now pay attention to this. We get an auto 2 hits on blue and an auto 1 hit on green, which is really helpful. So blue would be really good because we start with a 2+ there already. So I'm going to do the same thing we did last time, which is double blue and a green. We'll shuffle those up. And draw 2, because again, she protects me from 2 anyway. Green up, and that's upside down. That's a blue up as well. So we've got 2 green and 2 blue. But that's a problem. 3 green, I didn't pay attention. I should use red instead of green. Because 2 plus 1 is 3 green, minus 3, defense is nothing. Blue, 2 plus 2 is 4, minus 1 is 3. So we're going to hit for 3. And now I wish I'd pull the red instead of green, because we are going to take 3 damage. 1, 2, 3, like that. And I'm going to do the same thing this time, but be smart and take the top red instead of the top green. That was stupid. Attacking again, we don't take any damage because of the princess. Thank you, princess. And let's stop there. We draw 2 cards, top blue, bottom blue. So we're doing 4, 5, 6 blue, minus 1 is 5 damage. Dodo is dead. So we recover 2 hit points. 1, 2. I get a new ability. They slot back in there. My new ability is... Ooh, I got another companion. We've got the hero this time. And the hero is going to either give me no help or is going to give the enemy an auto defense in each color. The auto defense in each color is going to make it so that every land we walk through does 1 less damage. The one that gives me nothing is going to automatically hurt the enemy 1 point every turn of battle. I think that's pretty awesome. Let's do that. So every time we fight somebody after I've attacked, the enemy will take an additional 1 point of damage every turn. That's great. All right, thank you, hero. Then I'm going to go -1 plus 4. So that means +3, 1, 2, 3, life comes back. And then -2 onto there, our next battle. Against a stronger enemy this time, we've got Zaza. Zaza, again, is the wrong kind of monster. He's this one. We don't have any strength against that. They've got 8 hit points. I like, interestingly enough, here. At the beginning, they're doing 5 attack points. If you get to this exact spot on their health, they only do 1, and then again 3, recovering for 3. We're fighting in the desert. Zaza goes up top there. So they've got 3 red, 3 green, and 2 blue. So yeah, I need blue to do damage against them. Because red, they've got more than I can attack with a regular red. So I'm just going to have to keep doing blues. And I got to throw something in there, but it doesn't matter what, because none of it's going to do any damage. I'll throw a green back in just because. And realistically, I'd love to do 4 damage right now. Which is exactly what will happen. Ah, no it won't. Because I've got an additional 1 damage every time. That's going to be impossible for me to hit 4. Because I could do 3 or 5, but we'll see what happens. I draw a green top and a blue top. The green top is 2 plus 1 is 3 minus 3 is wash. Blue is 2 plus 2 is 4 minus 2 is 2, 1, 2. And then the hero does his 1 damage like that. All right. I take 5 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll use the same cards again. Thank God for that princess preventing me from losing any health in battle. I like to say this. Bottom blue, top green. Great, that's a wash. Nothing happens, but Lucky for me, we have a hero who does 1 damage. So this time we only take 1 hit, like that. One more time. Come on, double blue. That would be amazing right now. We would kill it. All right, I draw top blue. Yes, bottom blue. Okay, so we hit 4, 5, 6 minus 2 is 4. Zaza is dead, and we get 3 health. Back again. 1, 2, 3, like that. Putting it back in their slot. Revealing our ability. Ooh, we've got Grimoire 2. So here's our level 4 and level 5 spells. Problem is, I can't do any of them because I don't have the gray piece yet. I don't have a bottom green. And I don't have a bottom red. So that's useless to me for now, but that's nice to have. So we'll set that over here. And we'll continue on our adventure. Then, I don't know that I'm coming back to this one, but we might potentially. In any case, I'm going here first, which is 2, 4, 5, and I'm there, so I lose 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see what we got. We're fighting Aro. We're fighting Aro in the city. So we gotta flip this over to the city. Like that. Like that. I wouldn't mind a little bit more companionship here because we're not very strong right now, except that we've got the hero that does the damage every round. But that's that. Auto slots on top of the city like that. And we start off. My stack's a little crooked this time, but that's okay. We start off with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hit points. Attack 5 and then becomes attack 2. I only recovered 2 from him, which is horrible. I really wish I had that gray piece. Because one nice thing about this Grimoire 2 is this spell right here. Top blue, middle gray, bottom red is actually healing for 8 points, which is very nice to have. But we'll see what happens. If I pull blue, that's good. If I pull green, that's a wash. If I pull red, again, same as last time. I need blue with green, although it's not going to matter. Wait a minute, I have a red bottom. I could pull this one. It's almost impossible to do. I have 5 cards and I do 4 damage, 2 damage to myself to do it. No, I don't want to do that. But bottom red, that gets me 4. Yeah, that's not worth it. All right, so we're going to do the same thing we've been doing. It doesn't do me any damage. If I can hit blue, that's great. If I can't, then ouch. As long as I don't pull a top green, bottom blue, we at least do some damage. And we've got bottom blue and top blue. Perfect. So that's 4, 5, 6 minus 2 is 4 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. And my hero does 1 more like that. I take 2 hits. 1, 2. And let's just do the same attack. And we got a bottom blue and another top blue that kills Aro. We get 2 health back. 1, 2 up to that one right there. And we get another companion. I do kind of want that gray magic, but it is what it is. We've got the porcupine, Mr. Yamarashi. Okay, he's going to do 2 damage against those monster types that we already saw, but 2 of them have already come out, so I don't really care about that one right now, even if that red would be nice to have. Here I get 1 green and 1 blue, and this is going to cost me less to walk across the water, which I'm about to do soon, so I might as well take that, because I don't know how many more enemies, if any, of that type remain. So we're going to take that like this, and that also beefs up my blue and green. Now the question is, do I sacrifice 4 points, well, 8 hit points to get back here? And I don't think so. So I'm gonna go 1, 2. I lose 1, and then I gain 3 back. And then we'll go, I have 1 less in the water, so these 2s are just 1. So that's 1, and I attack. So I lose 1 there. And we are going to attack this enemy right here. Roby. Roby has 2, 5, 7 hit points and a very interesting arrangement of attack points. Again, a different icon than the one I'm hoping for. We are fighting in the ocean again. Not again, but this time. Wow. Ocean is bad against red, but that's fine because I don't like red anyway. We are attacking Roby. He recovers 2. Then I still don't have a green bottom or a gray center, so we're just going to do the same thing we've been doing. And I'm sorry if that's boring, but it's working, so let's keep fighting that way. I flip over, blue bottom, blue top. Okay, we're getting good luck with this. 4, 5, 6, 7 minus 2 is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the hero does 1 attack. He's only got 1 health left, but because of that, he's going to hit me for 4, which is not great. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And then, yeah, I might as well do the same thing, because again, the princess is protecting me. It doesn't matter anyway. Let's do that. And we got a blue bottom and a green top. Well, they don't match, but the green top gets me 2, 3, 4, minus 3 is 1. He's dead anyway. I recover 2 hit points, or life points. Roby goes back, and we get, yay, there's our gray center. So we can heal, and we can start doing some level 4, 3 and 4 spells. Awesome. Then, my oceans are only 1 damage each, so 1, 2, plus 8. So minus 2, 1, 2, plus 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're back to 17 life. And then 1, 2, and attack. 1, 2, and attack. We are fighting against Koru. And Koru is the one that we are strong against. Thank you, Paladin. Paladin's fighting Koru. He should have 5 hit points, but because of the Paladin, he's going to only have 3. We're fighting them in the labyrinth area. So first things first, we got to slide this one down. Green has now just gotten crushed. Like that. Slotting this in here like that. But, again, because of the Paladin, 1, 2, they start with only 3 hit points. And I don't know if you can hear that sound, but it's just decided to start hailing as I'm recording. Hopefully that's not on mic. Fighting Koru, we got to do lots of blue damage. Well, the nice thing is we basically beat him automatically because of our accomplice going to hit for lots of blue. There's no way to get negative damage, so they're hitting for 3 minus 1. We already get him down to 2, and then the hero gets him down 1 more. So it doesn't really matter, but I will try 4 just because. No, that's not worth it. Green doesn't do any good, red doesn't do any good. Huh. I might use this as an attempt to try and heal. I'm going to take 4 cards and draw 3. And I'm going to use 3 cards, means I do have to take 1 damage to do that. But I'm either going to blast him with blue magic or heal. There's my gray. There's my blue top. Ooh, and there's my red bottom. So we heal for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like that. And now I'm just going to blast him. Blue, blue, and something random. Doesn't matter because nothing else will do damage. Ah, wait a minute. Stop. I heal for 8. Then they do 3 minus 1 is 2 damage. 1, 2, and my hero does 1 damage. So it's dead, actually. And we recover for 2. Then we might as well go over minus 3 plus 8. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're back to 29 hit points. But then minus 3 and there. 1, 2, 3, minus 3 hit points, life points, means we are at the Evil Lord's castle, and it's time to take on Terra. So we are going to slide this to the Demon Lord's castle, setting up for battle like this. Now you'll notice that we automatically get 2 negatives everywhere, and now with the Demon Lord slotted in as well, 5 negatives everywhere, and he starts out with lots and lots of hit points. That's 5, 10, 15, 16 points, and they're doing tons of damage against us. Remembering now, this is where it's going to get important. If I ever hit 0 life points, I can sacrifice one of my team members, my companions, to go back to 8 health. So we may have to do that in order to defeat the Demon Lord. All right, so here we go. Blue and green look the best for me right now. And this green, gray, blue is also pretty strong. Hold on, that's 4, 5, 6 minus... 4, 5, 6 minus 5 is 1, and 2, 3, 4, 5 is 0. That hits for 1. This 6 blue would be 6, 7, 8, 9, minus 5 would be 4 damage. That would be nice. This is less nice. Healing is useless for me right now. I could try for these big ones, but they don't really work all that well. This green would be nice, but this red is useless. I'm just going to aim for the blues. I need at least a double blue, so I'm doing blue, blue, gray, and I guess I'll do a green top, because that'll still do some damage if I can get it. I'm pulling 3 cards, means I lose 1 hit point. Also, it's worth mentioning here, something I didn't talk about with the Devil King Terra, is that it says right here at the start of every turn of battle, he regains 2 hit points. He's healing 2 every turn. So I gotta start hitting big, or we're gonna be here forever. All right, then, last cut, drawing 3, gray, green, bottom blue. All right, so we do hit with this level 4 spell. 4 green plus 2 green is 6, minus 5 is 1. 2 blue plus 3 blue is 5, and 5 is nothing. So we're doing 1 damage. My hero does 1 more damage, and that's nothing, because we're still taking 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's bad, because now at the start of battle they recover 2 hit points. Fun. Then, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, minus 5. That's 7. That's big. 7 is big. 6 and 3 is 9, that's 4. So I need to hit one of these spells. All right, well, let's try it. I'm going to take green, blue, blue, red, and gray. That's 5 cards. I'm drawing 4. Means I'm losing 2 life points. I can't keep doing this. And the odds of me not drawing the gray in favor of everything else is really low. But we've got blue bottom, green top, blue middle. Oh my God, we messed up. Now I want a gray. All right, so at least we got that. Blue, gray, blue, oops, gets me 6 blue. 7, 8, 9 minus 5 is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then my guy does 1 more damage as that, which is nice. So I'm only losing 4 hit points. He recovers 2. We're going to do the exact same thing again. Losing 2 to draw 4. All right, bottom red, got it. Bottom blue, useless. Gray, come on, blue top. All right, good. So at least we're doing 6, 7, 8, 9. Again, that's 4 more damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plus 1. He does 4 against me again. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And then this recovers 1, 2, like that. Sorry for the bumping the camera. All right, then we have to fight some more. He's gonna kill someone. I don't know who I want him to kill, but we have to try to heal. Try to heal. If I heal 4 and he takes 4, no, sorry, if I heal 8 and he hits 4, I'm gonna only heal 4, plus I have to do at least 1 damage to myself, so that's healing 3. It's not really worth it right now. So again, I'm doing 1, 2. Come on, big hit. If I can hit 4, all of that. 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's not dead yet, but that only does 1 damage against me. If we can do it, that would be amazing. Come on. Green, blue, blue, red. Green, blue, red. Ah, come on. Please no gray. If we get a gray, I do nothing. Yes! All right. We hit. All right, so I hit with this level 5 spell. That's amazing. I don't know if I've ever hit with a level 5 spell. That's 10 green. Plus 2 green is 12. Minus 5 is 7. Red is just 2, so it doesn't hit. So we do 7 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And my hero does 1, which is huge because now I only lose 1 health. Yes! Okay. So all I gotta do is hit for 2. All I gotta do is hit for 2, man. This is amazing. All right, then. I'm doing the exact same thing again because it could potentially be healing. It could potentially be this blue spell. It could potentially, I don't think I'm going to get it again. Lightning doesn't strike twice, but we'll see what happens. Come on, Terra. You're going down. I don't want to lose any companions. That would be amazing. But if I hit, I'm in trouble. If I don't hit this turn, the hero's going to hit, and I take 8 damage. Come on. Gray. Red. All right, well, we heal. All right, so we're gonna heal. Yeah, because that's the only thing we can do. I heal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like that. Problem is the hero's gonna hit. So he's gonna take off all 8 points that I just did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're back to there. But that's fine, because we win. I just have to survive, and I can't get hurt. All right, we win, but let's play it out. Then I'm going to, just for fun, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, do the same thing. 1, 2. No. I forgot both times. Hold on. Before that, he should have recovered 2. That came down 1. So I got 3 damage, not 8. So that's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. And he also recovers twice again there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there. Okay. Well, all right. Let's see what happens now then. That's a problem. All right. Come on. Big spell. Come on, big spell. Come on, big spell. We got gray. Bottom blue, so we can at least hit that. Top green. No, we can't. I do nothing. Damn. All right, so he hits for 1, then he recovers for 2. I lose 3 hit points again. I'm attacking again the same way. Come on. Come on. Green, blue, blue, red. Let's go. Green, blue, blue, red. Come on. And I just realized all this time I said I don't have bottom green, but I do have bottom green. I don't remember when that happened. There must be another companion in there. All right. Bottom red. Bottom blue. No, you punk. But there's a top blue. All right, so here we go. 6. 7, 8, 9. Minus 5 is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, because that'll put him to 8. And then I'm really dead. Okay. Then I'm healing for 8 again. This battle's going on forever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I hit for 1. But he heals twice. Well, sorry, hold on, let me do this. I hit for 1, I take 3 damage. 1, 2, 3, and he heals back up to there. And then same thing again. Come on, guys. The war of attrition here. Come on, come on, come on. Now I can hit big. Now hitting big would not be a bad thing. Gray, green, blue, red. I can heal again. Yeah, that's all I can do is heal again. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I hit for 1, which does only 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. And I'm back to here now. Again, 1, 2. Come on. All right, here goes. Blue bottom. Blue top. Okay. Red bottom. Come on, green top. Yes. Okay. That is, again, 10, 11, 12. Minus 5 is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And my hero comes in with the final blow to destroy the Demon Lord, Terra. We have successfully beaten the game. Yay, yay, yay. All right, so that is the game. While we're here, let's talk about the components. This old school 8-bit artwork, first off, I really, really adore the way that this game looks. Just so you can see the other 3 monsters that we didn't fight. There's Karu. That's a little bit too close to Carl for my liking, but that's a Karu. To and Yabi. Again, nothing really different except that the way that their hit points work, how much you recover, and how aggressive and how defensive they are. The last ability card that we didn't get is the Monk. And the Monk can give me a 1 red and 2 green with the ability to start off with these alien kind of creatures with 2 less hit points. Or I start off with 1 red and 1 green, and every time I walk through the volcanic mountain areas, there's 1 less damage taken. So that is the game. Otherwise, the only other components on the back of this map, there is a smaller sort of quick play map that you only fight against 4 of the enemies, and then against the bad boss at the end. Now, because you are only fighting 4 of them, they're all a little bit stronger, and you don't have as much chance to get stuff. Actually, scratch that, I am wrong. This is double mode, so what that means is every time you fight a boss, and there are only 4 monsters out there, you'll get 2 ability cards every time you win. So that means you're leveling up real fast, which is why things escalate quite a bit faster. So basically it's shortening the length of the game, making the challenge for each monster a little bit more maybe to start off, but you're leveling up faster, so it's basically just a shorter version of the game. Otherwise, the only other component is this little sort of 8-bit wizard meeple. I really love this. I know it doesn't need to be in here because this is a card game, and even realistically, they could have just had a card that tracks where you go to cut down on package size and whatever, but I love this little guy, and I want to have him even if I didn't have the game. I'm just a big fan of wooden components, and I really like the design of that. Visually, I'm in love with the way this game looks. As far as packaging and components, because I do like to talk about packaging when I talk about the components, the only other thing that comes in this is the rulebook, which is just a fold-out leaflet like this, double-sided. Only Japanese, unfortunately, but if you watch this video, you now know how to play the game. Cards come in a tuck box. I love the design of this tuck box. It's just very black, very sharp contrast with the little different companion characters and your Unreliable Wizard there on the front. Just great packaging design as far as the way it looks. And as with their other games, all of this comes inside this little foil Ziploc baggie to keep the tuck box, the rules, and the little meeple all connected together. So that's basically it for the components. Meet me back up top and I'll let you know what I think about the game itself. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. This one's going to be an interesting one for me to review because it's going to be hard for me to contain my bias on this game, and it's not because the publisher gave me a review copy and I owe any goodwill towards the publisher. It's simply because I was so incredibly excited to get this game, simply on the theme and the looks of the game alone. But of course the game could have let me down and sort of crushed my spirits if it wasn't any good, but I think you can judge by the smile on my face that I'm very, very happy about this one, and I'm excited to talk to you about it. I just want to give a shout out to Cardboard East. I did see his playthrough, and that's how I initially found this game, and boy am I glad I did, because I really, really enjoy this game. First off, the theme of this game is just like any old Final Fantasy JRPG kind of game, and the style of this sort of 8-bit artwork really brings me back to a time when I was a kid watching my dad play through some of these JRPGs as my sort of bedtime stories. And it just was a lot of fun to sort of be pulled back into the sort of nostalgic world of these old games that I played. But setting that aside, let's talk about the game itself and why I enjoy the game the way that I enjoy the game. Well, ultimately, it's all about this sort of magic system. You're an unreliable wizard. You're a wizard who's still going through training and knows some spells but isn't really great at letting them happen. And thematically and mechanically, this game sort of ties perfectly together because it really does feel like you are that character. You're walking your way through this world, losing some health as you go along, simply just from the sort of drudgery, the constant effect of the nature just beating down on you as you're walking along your journey. And then you run into these enemies. And the enemies, let me say, first off, style really, really cool. Silly little names on all of them. But you then have to take down all of these enemies to sort of level up and build up so that when you get to the Demon Lord's castle, you can take them down. And again, theme ties into everything, but I got ahead of myself. Let's get back to what I was saying. The magic system. The magic system in this game, where you're determining a number of cards to pull to hopefully build together some kind of magic spell. And the number of cards that you pull determines how much damage you take in trying to fumble your way through that spell. But then you have to add a card to them, shuffle them up, and then draw the number of cards you initially set out to draw in order to hopefully build the magic spell that you're aiming to build, but maybe stumbling into something else that might be halfway as good, or maybe even better, depending on the way that the situation is playing out, is a really, really, really cool one. Because again, as I said before, it really does pull out the theme of this bumbling, unreliable wizard fumbling his way through these spells. You really do feel that way. But ultimately, on top of that, it's a very cool push your luck system. It's not something I've seen before where you're sort of pushing your luck to a level that you've set and then adding something to that level that you're drawing from and then hopefully getting what you want, or hopefully getting one of a variety of different things, because you've got this grimoire of spells. And if you level up or get your next ability through fighting, you'll have a second grimoire of spells. And different shapes and different combinations of your magic cards are going to come up with different spells. So it could be that you're aiming for this combination, but if you get this combination instead, you'll be equally happy. But then if these three cards in the middle come out and become nothing, you're kind of sad because nothing happens. So you have to set yourself up in these situations where you want this. If you fail this way, it's not bad. If you fail this way, it's okay. But if for some reason, very, very, very low chances, but it could happen, you fail this way, that's bad because nothing happens. And this planning of what to do, how to do it, how many cards to pull, and then this sort of feeling of tension of whether or not this spell is actually going to fire off really, really, really feels fun. It really feels good. And then on top of all of this, you're first off, you're pushing to see how many cards you want to pull, right? You have to pay attention to the enemy's health, which is another level here and really, really interesting as well. Because if the enemy doesn't have a whole lot of health, I don't want to pull a lot of cards because I only need to hit them for a little, and if I pull a lot of cards, I'm hurting myself more. So then I have to balance how many cards I'm pulling, but on top of that, as you get into the more difficult leveled up enemies, you'll see that at different sort of life point thresholds, they hurt you for different amounts of damage. So sometimes you want to hit for an exact number. I want to hit for 2 because it gets me to that one spot that only hits me for 1 damage. If I hit for 3, they're going to hit me a lot. If I hit for 1, they're going to hit me a lot. And this kind of balance of how much do I want to hit and what is my best decision path to get me to that exact number of damage that I'm trying to do is a really interesting one. Because sometimes you have a character that does 1 automatic damage every turn. So it might be I want to do 1 damage, in which case I'm trying to build a hand of cards that will do less damage. If I can get 0 damage and my hero does 1 hit, yay, because then I'm in that one slot that I only take 1 damage. This balance is really, really, really fun. And then back to, we beat the enemy, we get new abilities. And those new abilities might be new pieces of magic that I can put together to make new combinations, like the bottom piece or the gray piece. Or it could be a new grimoire that gives me new combinations of spells using some of those advanced magic pieces that I've picked up along the way. Or even more interesting, both thematically and mechanically, is the picking up of new companions. Because these new companions are going to do 2 things for you. They're going to give you a special ability, and they're going to potentially increase or maybe decrease your attacks in all 3 different magic abilities. So basically they're fighting with you, but they also give you some kind of special ability. And you get to choose which kind of special ability it is. It's usually movement related or battle related. It might be that they're specifically strong against a certain kind of enemy, which is interesting thematically because you might get somebody like a priest or the paladin who's holy and is good against the undead kind of enemies. Or you might get somebody who's ranged who's good against the flying type enemies. And these are the kind of things that come out in these kinds of video games. And it's really cool to see that come out in the companions as well. Plus then the different attack values that they've got. Sometimes their abilities are really strong, in which case they actually hinder you and make you lose attack ability in certain cases. So this balance of who do I choose, or not who do I choose, because that comes out randomly, but which ability do I choose, not just for the ability, but for the associated sort of attack strength or attack losses based on the ability that I'm choosing, is really, really, really interesting to have. So this combination of characters, of sort of followers or companions that join you on your quest, that help you fight against the bad guys, who help you with their unique abilities along the way. Super thematic, super feels like those games I played as a kid where you're wandering the land and occasionally you run into somebody who says, hey, so-and-so has joined your party. Let's go continue our battle. And it's really, really cool to see that. And then to build in another level of this where when you die, you can sacrifice your companions, or not really sacrifice, but such that you would see in a video game where you're fighting and your companion gets knocked out, and that sort of makes you sort of bring back the fight, the spirit in your face, and you just, in your, I can't find the words, but makes you feel extra vengeful, I guess, to fight harder against the enemy, and you get those 8 hit points back when you lose one of your companions. But again, when you lose one of your companions, you're losing their ability, you're losing their strength in battle. It's this really cool balance of everything mechanically and thematically. I do have to ask though, who's the porcupine? If you know, leave a comment down below. I guarantee there's an RPG where you had a hedgehog companion or some kind of animal companion, and that's where the porcupine's coming from. But in any case, it made me chuckle when I got a porcupine companion. But again, this combination of companions giving you strength as aid, and then you bumbling or fumbling your way through these different magic spells, trying your best to take out the enemies, to level up as much as possible, so that when you get to the Demon Lord, who's recovering 2 hit points every turn, who's got a ton of hit points, who does a ton of damage, you just got to keep on pushing, keep on fighting, hope that you got that second grimoire that gives you that healing spell. But even then, the healing spell gives you 8, and you're losing like 2 or 3 every turn, attacking and getting hit. So that 8 really doesn't mean much. And if you want to heal, you got to kind of keep going and keep going and keep going to just heal little by little by little. But it feels so good. And that final battle, whether you win or lose, feels so epic when you get there. I just love this game, both thematically and mechanically, and how it makes me feel as I'm playing it. Now, is the difficulty level there? I don't know. I win this more often than I lose. Is the length of the game good? I don't know. Sometimes it gets a little bit long. Sometimes it ends a little bit quick. That depends on the randomness. So let's talk about that. There is quite a bit of randomness in this game. You're starting with the 3 initial magic pieces and then 2 other cards. Those 2 other cards could be companions. Those 2 other cards could be magic pieces. One of those 2 other cards could be the second grimoire, which is kind of useless at the beginning of the game because you don't have enough pieces to really get much use out of it. But depending on how you start, it is going to make you stronger or weaker against the things that you're hitting along the way. That said, though, it also is interesting because it sort of forces you to think about the game in different ways. If I have lots of magic cards, that means I can hit in all different colors, and I can sort of focus my attack on whatever enemy I'm fighting at the time. If I get more companions, it might mean that I have abilities that help me in different ways. So you're never really completely like at a loss because of the way you started, but sometimes you will be stronger and sometimes you will be slightly weaker, and the game will play out slightly differently based on the randomness of which companions come out, which magic pieces come out, which enemies come out, and so on. And most of the time I do my best to hit every enemy on the way to the Demon Lord and be fully upgraded by the time I get there, but sometimes I skip 1 or 2 because of the way the things play out along the way, and I think that's interesting. It makes for a little bit more variability in the game. Now I should also talk about the double side. I'm sorry I kind of flubbed up the description of that during the components piece, but since recording that components piece, I've gone back and I've played that double side. And the double side is also very interesting. It's not quite as difficult as I expected it to be because, again, you are upgrading twice. You're getting 2 ability cards with every enemy you fight. There's only 4 enemies instead of the 8, so it is quite a bit shorter. And you kind of rush your way to the Demon Lord. The Demon Lord battle doesn't really change much depending on what you've hit along the way because, well, ultimately you're losing health and gaining health the same amount because there's more of these sort of more damaging locations on the smaller map. So as you're walking, you're losing a bit more quickly than you would have in the other map. It's just sort of condensing the game, and I don't know if I like it better or worse. It's definitely shorter. So if I only had a short amount of time to get it to the table to play it, I like the fact that there's a shorter version of the game in the box as well. But at the same time, because it's shorter, it sort of rushes you through the game, and you don't quite get that feeling of exploration and trudging through and growing and expanding and, you know, leveling up on your way to the Demon Lord. So ultimately, I think if I've got the time, I'd rather play the longer version. But it's really cool that that double version is there so you can get a quicker play of this game in there. Now, I've gushed a lot about this game. I love this game. There is a bit of randomness that does make it feel a little not so great sometimes. It does go a little bit long sometimes. This is not the perfect game, but this is a perfect addition to my collection. And I am so happy to have added this to my collection. I really enjoy this game, mostly from the thematics and that sort of cool push your luck mechanism of the magic system, but also the leveling up. Anyway, I don't need to repeat myself again. I enjoy this game quite a bit. Would I have enjoyed it as much if the theme was different? Maybe not, but that's not the case here because the theme is what it is, and I really enjoy it quite a bit. I did also pick up the expansion to this, so expect a video at some point on this channel that's also going over the expansion. I'm very excited to show that to you as well. I will put a link down below to the Titanheads or Titanheads booth page where you can buy their games. Their games do sort of go in and out of stock because they are a small publisher that's sort of doing everything by themselves. But occasionally you can also use a proxy service called Buy to get these games shipped overseas as well. So this is a game that you could potentially grab a copy of. So definitely check out that link down below. If you're interested, you might just get lucky and score yourself a copy of this game as well. I hope that this video was interesting. I hope that it was helpful. And if you did enjoy it, I do ask, as always, please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon below. And I'll see you all next time. Thanks.